Aries, hi, I'm Desi. This is my channel, Starchaeology Tarot. I'm so psyched out of my mind to do a tarot reading for you for the month of January, year 2021. What the heck? I'm setting the intention with this reading to see what is the message that Spirit is... What is the most important message from Spirit that you need to hear for this month? And how we define most important, what is the most resonant, relevant message that can give you the awareness so you can take the steps you need to step, focus on the things you need to focus on that will align you with your highest path for this month. What will make this month the best month that it could be? What is the highest potential for this month? If you have additional intentions that you want to set on top of that, take the time to do that now as I shuffle and tune in with Spirit. This is good for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you want a more specific picture of the very unique being that you are, I highly encourage you to check out your other placements for January. And lastly, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to get to connect with you in this way. If you wouldn't mind smashing that like button and that subscribe button, I will cry out of gratitude. This community, building this community, is becoming increasingly important to me in a time that's been tricky for all of us. So it really does mean more than I can say. And same goes for sharing this with anyone who you know needs a little extra support right now or encouragement. Sharing this channel with them, sharing their January reading, whatever their sun sign is. I would be so grateful. With that, Aries, let's solve the mystery of January for you right now. Aries, this is a month of liberation for you, a month of breaking free from patterns, from certain things that you have felt have been commitments or responsibilities that maybe you're finally waking up to realizing that it's not your responsibility and it's not a commitment that you have to keep. Because keeping the commitment or keeping the responsibility actually might be doing more harm than good. It actually could be the devil in disguise. It could be your shadow self in disguise, or your shadow self making excuses, or making excuses to keep having a hold on you by playing it off as doing the right thing, or feeling obligated in some way. It's incredible how we can fool ourselves, and the devil is kind of known as the trickster. We can really trick ourselves into an ongoing relationship with dysfunction, or an ongoing intimate relationship with some sort of dis-ease, by writing it off as something we don't have a choice in doing, or writing it off as something that benefits someone else. I have to be doing this for this person, even though that person never explicitly said, I need you to do this for me. There's a real crossing of boundaries when we start imagining and projecting what someone else needs for us to do in order for them to be okay. And that can be the devil's work. That can be your shadow self at work. But the good news is that you are breaking free from this, or you have an opportunity to heal, to really heal from this and break free from this month. I want to say, Aries, too, that the reason why I'm talking specifically about responsibilities, specifically about commitments to people and taking care of people, is because we have these two cards here, the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is often known as the Advocate card, and Nine of Pentacles is this card of certainty. It's a card of being certain about our choices leading up to this specific point in our lives, and feeling that success doesn't come from necessarily all of the blessings that we have right now, or all of the wins that we have, the gains, like the things that we can look around and count, like, well, I have these treasures, I'm clearly successful. It's actually more, the success is rooted more in the certainty of knowing that we acted according to our highest voice, that we were always acting aligned with our highest self, our highest course, and there's certainty in that. So I'm sensing that there's something about with this Devil card overshadowing all of these cards that came out. First of all, there's something that you've been advocating for or fighting for someone else that maybe you haven't realized how that has imprisoned you up until this point. It doesn't mean that you need to stop fighting for that person, especially if you have a relationship with this person where it has been spoken about that this is something that you're going to do for them. However, there can be something reformed here regarding how you go about advocating for this person while making sure that it doesn't drain you or that it doesn't harm you, because that devil energy, that shadow energy, is present in this for some reason. It is present in how you maybe advocating for this other person means that somehow you're putting yourself down, or advocating for this other path directly harms your own path. It doesn't have to be either or, and I think oftentimes we see it that way, like, well, I have to devote everything to this, and if I don't devote it to this, then it all has to go to this other place, or it all has to go to me. It's like, it's very black and white. We forget that we can split the difference sometimes and help up until a certain boundary line, but it's the setting of those boundaries, and it's the figuring out of where those boundary lines even are that is really a challenge for many of us. And oftentimes we don't want to go through the process of discovery in that way, because it's hard work. It's hard work to find where those boundaries are for us. It requires real introspection and healing, and a deeper wisdom, and also a vulnerability to admit to ourselves what it is that we need. It requires this kind of star vulnerability of being unmasked, of being naked and saying, this is who I am, this is what I need. You are fighting a fight here. And Aries, you fighting for other people's desires and needs is such a noble aspect of you. It's such a beautiful part of who you are. That's not something that needs to go away. It only needs to be examined if it's causing certain self-sacrifice that creates uncertainty in you. And that uncertainty, that lack of certainty, again, is coming from a fear-based place. It's coming from fear-based thinking that dictates your decision-making. Like, I have to take care of this, I have to do this for this other person, because if I don't, I'm afraid this will happen. And it causes some sort of sacrifice on your part. Not only that, it just makes it invites uncertainty in your life, because you cannot control this other person's path. And you never will be able to, which means you will never have certainty about their path. And that's a recipe for a life of imprisonment for you. Because continuing to try to fight that other person's battles for them, in an effort to ensure their safety or ensure their success, is something that you can never actually ensure. It is out of your power. So it makes it really difficult then for you to be this Nine of Pentacles who is able to look back on their decisions and say, I'm certain I did the right thing, because you're not living that person's life. So you'll never be in a place where you can accurately and adequately assess whether your decisions aligned with what is best for them. You can only assess whether your decisions aligned with what was best for you, what was the most supportive thing for you. And I don't mean supportive thing like selfish, taking care of yourself at the expense of others. Oftentimes the way we take care of ourselves is by offering ourselves tough love, by putting ourselves in uncomfortable positions that force growth and learning. But there's always a deeper part of us that knows when it's something that's good for us versus something that limits us or that hurts us, harms us. You have that deeper knowing. You have that divine wisdom. That is what this star card is here for. This star card is here to say that you know what peace after the storm looks like. You know what that deep divine wisdom looks like. You are in touch with that flowing water, with that flow of intuition, that flow of emotion, that deeper heart gut knowing, that deeper heart gut intelligence. And with the star being here too, Aries, it's like saying that whatever this situation is, and maybe it also isn't about fighting for someone else, advocating for someone else. This also can just indicate struggle. This can just indicate, intense fighting for something that you want. Sevens often represent being in a particularly tedious stage of a journey or a battle, and feeling doubt, feeling like, this is not going how I thought it was going to go, I'm ready to give up. And sevens often encourage us to keep pushing through that particularly tedious stage or that particularly challenging obstacle because our goal is in reach. We have every reason to expect that we can achieve what we set out to achieve, because this dream is a dream that can come true. This desire, this wish is a wish that can be fulfilled. And it's been planted in you for a reason, Aries. I also want to say that January, so I think, what I think overall this means, I think this might mean something different for each of you, obviously, but this is a month of liberation, as I said to begin. So either you're being liberated from this constant hustle, from this constant struggle. It's not because the condition is ending. It's how you attack life that is ending. You can heal the way in which you are fighting through life right now, because that could be the very pattern. That can be the devil at work. That can be your shadow, is the way in which you are fighting, rather than expecting peace after the storm, rather than relaxing in acceptance of what is, rather than living in a constant resistance of what is. And part of that constant resistance is just living in a fear-based place, being ruled by fear of what is right now and fear of what is going to happen, even though there is no certainty of fear of what is going to happen. It's like fear, living in a place of fear of what's going to happen means that you are always in a place of uncertainty because you're always future focused. It's impossible to feel this kind of success in certainty, if you're never really evaluating where you are right now, but instead always looking ahead and worrying for what the worst possible outcome is and preparing for the worst possible outcome, preparing for the fights, the battles ahead. So I think like some of you can be liberated literally from that process. You can heal from this kind of process and be very present with the peace that you actually are in right now. You're not even in a storm right now. There might not be a need to be battling right now. For others of you, I think what you're being liberated from is the uncertainty that focus on everything around you, focus on other, keeps you from feeling, because seeking certainty for someone else will never lead to certainty in your own life. I'm not even sure I would love to hear, Aries, how that manifests specifically for you, what that looks like specifically for you, because to me that sounds very meta, and I think that can be taking shape in that can be manifesting in your life in a probably really wide range of details and situations. But I do see there being some sort of relationship between your shadow self and the freedom, the liberation of being certain about the choices that you've made. Even if they've been choices that have led you, that you've looked back on and said that was a mistake, because if you're able to do that, but be like, well, I know I chose the best thing in that moment. For me, I know I couldn't have chosen anything else in that moment. Then you know that the mistake was meant for you. You know that the mistake was an important part of your journey that you can't possibly regret, because every choice that you made up until that mistake was intentional and aligned with your intention, what you wanted for you, what you wanted to manifest in your own life, not necessarily what you wanted to manifest for someone else, or not necessarily what you were afraid of. You weren't manifesting things along the lines of dictated by your fear, but rather you're dictated by your dreams, by the light in your life, not the darkness in your life. Some of you have a devil relationship with the need for certainty, where it's actually seeking certainty, seeking a sense of stability, seeking this time in the future when everything is peaceful and you're in your garden and you don't have a care or a need in the world. It's a very result-focused mindset that keeps you from having certainty and security in this moment, because it is so focused in the future. It is so focused in the future, and fighting for this dream keeps you from recognizing the dream that you're living right now. It's something that imprisons you. It chains you to this future place that you'll never catch up to, because the future by definition is always, we are never in the future. I do want to say too, I feel this is important, sacrifice to a certain degree is expected for living the kind of abundance and luxury that the Nine of Pentacles experiences. But again, don't let those sacrifices be at the expense of your deepest well-being, your mission in life, at the expense of your highest self and your highest realization of yourself in this life. Don't let those sacrifices is a natural part of life, but don't let those sacrifices be the expense of your dream, be at the expense of your deep healing, be at the expense of your freedom. A sacrifice that imprisons you or puts you in a cycle that then you feel trapped in or addicted to, that isn't serving you, is not a sacrifice worth making. That's not a sacrifice worth fighting for, when what you're fighting for is you're fighting your way deeper into your own prison cell. Even if someone else is benefiting from this somehow. I hope that was helpful, Aries. I would love to hear what this means for you, how you're interpreting this in your own life. This is pretty complex. It's a pretty complex, multi-level message for starting the year off. But I think that there can be no better thing than to start a year thinking about your potential, thinking about what's beyond the space that you've been in. Because that kind of how we are manifesting, how we are visualizing 2021 is what creates our 2021. So having these cards both here of thinking about the light versus the dark in your own life and what is at play in motivating you. It shows me that January you're asking the right questions. You're looking at the right options. You're allowing yourself to be pushed and expanded in a way that can make real dreams come true for you in 2021. So practice the kind of discernment that the devil requires. The devil needs a critical, discerning eye so that you can walk away from illusion in your life and see that illusion for what it really is. If it is in any way involved with fear. I'm so grateful you're here, Aries. Thanks for connecting with me. Thanks for being here. Leave a message. I'd love to hear from you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and share this with any other Aries that you think might benefit from this. Share my channel with anyone who you think needs some extra support right now. I will be forever grateful. And with that, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next time.